Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of the Don't Panic podcast today. We are here with a special guest from my organization that I'm in, Heroics, with the Heroics logo on the jersey. But everybody, please welcome Justin. Would you like to be known by any other name besides Justin, or
Oh yeah, no, rocking with Justin. That's cool. I'm the Dolphin Boy.
the Dolphin
Also,
Boy? Yep, we're gonna get all your socials as well, yeah.
yes, sir. Other than that, no, it's good.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you consider yourself a content creator, or what do you do in general?
Yeah, no, I stream. I try to be as consistent as I can, but
Yeah.
honestly, with work and school, just kind of do it when I can.
Yeah.
I go to school. Now I'm a senior in college, working towards my bachelor's in social work.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's about it.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's still not bad though. You're working on your goals and your dreams, and you're in school, so being educated is important. It's gonna help you get your job, chase your career, chase your dreams.
Yeah, something like that.
So is social work something that you're like extremely interested in, or?
Yeah, honestly, I've been pretty passionate about just like advocating for people who can't necessarily advocate for themselves,
Yeah.
or don't feel like they have a voice for themselves,
Hmm.
especially like specifically around people who struggle with like mental health
Yeah.
and getting their voice out there.
Hmm.
After high school, I was like, because I had become like good friends with a social worker, and it was like super like I don't want to say laid back of a job, but you can do what you want with it too.
Yeah.
So I was like, freedom. I want to do it.
So I'm 28. You're obviously a little bit younger than me, being like Devin's age, right? You went to
Uh,
school, Devin.
Yeah, I'm 20. I turned 21 in like 2 months.
Gotcha. So when I was in social work, working with people with special needs, basically what you said, it's a very laid back job. As like for the most part, if you're getting your job done and you're being a good person and doing everything you can, most people just leave you alone as long as you're doing your paperwork. And I
Yeah,
mean, don't mess up on paperwork, because we worked alongside the government. So
right.
if you messed up with one piece of paperwork, they could take away all of your funding. So
No kidding.
uh,
Yeah, and that's kind of my downfall right there too, especially with school. Is like I'm really good at like connecting with people and talking to people, but it's the formal part, the paperwork and
yeah.
all of that nonsense. Well, I don't want to say nonsense, but that stuff I'm just like it's a drag. But
It's definitely a drag. It's part of the job, though. A lot of stuff like that, especially when you're working in like that field, like a good chunk of it's going to be paperwork. But what like the mindset that you got to have with a job like that is once you get through the paperwork and like all of that other stuff, then you could just focus on like the fun stuff, like helping others or
for sure,
doing stuff like that, building relationships.
for sure, I think it's key to remember to like what you're doing, like why you're doing it,
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff is kind of just part of it.
Yep. So just remembering why you're doing it. Like I know, for example, one of the best parts of my job for me when I was in social work, I don't even know, like at certain parts, I don't even know if you'd consider it social work, but like we'd go to the house like of the family of the person with special needs.
Yeah,
We would check to see if they were like eligible for like either our help or anything like that, see if we can give them assistance. Then we like go through the proper channels, ask like the government, stuff like that. We worked alongside Special Olympics and stuff
yeah.
like that too. So like it
Yeah,
was
that very
awesome.
much sounds like something a social worker,
Yeah, it
would
was.
very much take part of in.
Gotcha, gotcha. But
Yeah,
when we were doing that, one of my favorite parts is not only being able to like figure out what hoops I could jump through. I wouldn't even necessarily say that, but like what I could do to try to get a family or somebody with special needs like the help that they wanted or needed. Like
definitely.
and just being able to get them to aid. And plus on top of that, I was a very hands-on because I was in the management sector of it.
Yeah,
So like I was the guy behind the desk, like I had a team under me and stuff like that. But the thing that about me is I tried to lead by example. So like say for example, I had somebody underneath me and they were sick or like they legitimately had a reason on why they were gone.
yeah,
Like I would step up and take their caseload for the day. I would go visit whatever person that they were working with that had disabilities, or I'd go visit with the families and stuff like that. We'd go to like the YMCA and hang out with them, bring them out like on their day. Like we had like a group outing where we all went to a park or a zoo or stuff like that. But I'm glad to give you a little bit of like my background and my experiences, and I'm glad that like you're in that field because it definitely takes a special type of person to want to help others.
For
And
sure.
I really do appreciate having you on the podcast so we can learn a little bit more about you instead of me just being long-winded.
Yes,
But
sir. I know. I enjoy to hear it. It's always good to hear like other people's reasonings for wanting to help others too, because it empowers other people to help other people. You know what I mean?
yep. So basically, you told me you're a student and you're in social work, and you're just a hardcore grinder. You got the nice car in the background. You're in a garage.
Yeah, I
Uh,
wish all this was mine, but yeah, for sure.
yeah, you could definitely be yours. You keep working your tail off like you do. You got the work ethic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Um. So, what social? Since you said you're a content creator and you're trying to like grind or whatever, what are your other social medias that you have that you'd like to plug up above us and after the video?
Yeah, I got my let's see, Twitter. Twitter was it? Justin Goff 26 on Twitter. My Instagram, the Dolphin Boy,
Yep.
and also I kind of run the Heroics Instagram too, so we got to check that out. Heroics GG on Instagram.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Other than that, my Twitch, twitch.tv/thedolphinboii.
Yep. And then you can hit me up after the stream or whenever before the video comes out. Give me all
Yeah.
your links. I put them in the description. I also pop them above our heads, over
Yes,
there, over
sir.
there. It doesn't matter, but I'm glad that I got your socials, so we got that hooked up.
Yep, just give me 2 months, I'll give you the Spotify as well.
Gotcha. I love to hear that. So you just said something about Spotify. So you're talking about making music?
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, I'm working on an EP right now.
Nice.
I'm hoping to get it out during the summer, but if
Gotcha.
worse comes to worse, I'll just wait till next summer to put it out. I have a couple of features I've been working on too. They should be dropping soon.
That's awesome. So I was literally just about to ask you what you're passionate about. So let's go into that first. So tell us a little bit about your music. Like, what genre of music do you do?
Let's see. I mean, I personally feel I can do a lot of different things with my voice, but
Yeah.
I like most likely I like to rap a lot.
Yep.
But more than I'm like an alternative, like a Black Bear type singer, like alternative,
Yep.
like an alternative like pop type shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
There's no problem having like a lot of range because
For
like
sure.
you look a lot of different musicians like Haley Williams from Paramore.
Mm,
You look at her, she's got a decent amount of range.
she a legend.
Yep,
For real.
Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. He's got a lot of range. You look at a lot of these bands that do like Fame on Fire. They do covers.
For sure.
It really depends on like your perspective, and I'm glad to see that you got a perspective that you think that you have like a big range. And I'm glad to see what type of stuff you do. When you get your Spotify up, we'll get that link in here too.
Of course.
Got you. So besides music, social work, grinding, what else are you passionate about that you'd like the viewers to know?
Yeah, this is gonna sound like a real big conflict of interest, but I mean I love marijuana, right? And that's like
There's
one
no
of my
problem with
favorite
that.
things. Huh?
There's no problem with that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. Like I don't know, personally, I feel like it's better than any prescriptions out there. So I'm real passionate about just smoking pot. You know what I mean? Anime too. You know, two of my
Anime,
top
nice.
things right there.
So what animes do you like?
Ooh, well, my favorite one's Attack on Titan. But after watching this like Demon Slayer movie last night and catching up on Demon Slayer,
Yep.
oh no, Demon Slayer is looking real good.
So here's the thing about me is I'm like a base. So I grew up. I'm obviously a little bit older. I'm a basic type of anime guy. I like Dragon Ball, Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
that's
Z,
what I was gonna say. You sound like
yeah,
someone that would like Dragon Ball and Naruto.
Dragon Ball Super, and Naruto. I was about to say Naruto, Bleach.
Some Beyblades, yeah.
Yep. A little bit of Beyblades when I was younger.
What's that
Inuyasha.
other one? Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh
like
was
it's funny.
another good one. Yep. Inuyasha when I was younger. Cowboy Bebop. I like a few different ones too, but like I even dabbled in Sword Art Online. I like season 1 and season 2, like parts of season 2. I don't really like the elf one or when they did the gun shit. But
Yeah.
so basically
There's so many animes out there though. It's like it's hard to pick your favorites, you know what I mean? But like you get started on one, you just pick up another. Like for me personally, I'll start one anime
and then you pick up another.
and then I pick up another, and then someone tells me to watch another, and I'll watch that one. I'll end up like I remember for a minute I was watching 4 or 5 animes at one time. I was like grinding through them, finish them all in like 2 or 3 weeks, man. I was like, yeah,
There's so much content and stories out there though. It's like a lot of amazing
They're
like
so
different
relatable.
stories. Yeah, they are definitely relatable.
yeah.
Kuroko no Basket I like too because of my
Mm.
basketball background. That's a huge one. That
Mhm.
one's funny, especially the abridged. I like a lot of abridged stuff too
Yeah.
because they capture the characters while making it funny. Like DBZ abridged is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, so we'll move on to the next segment. So I do this segment where it's where you see yourself. Basically, if everything goes perfect, we do different increments. This is basically the setup if we have you on the show or the podcast again. It's where you see yourself in 6 months, 1 year, and 5 years. So I'm gonna ask you. The first question is, where do you see yourself in 6 months if everything goes perfect and goes your way?
Man, the same damn place, to be honest.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the next 3 years are pretty. I don't want to say scripted, but they're pretty much like kind of set in stone. Just finishing school,
Yep.
doing what I can at work, making money, just try to get myself like out of like moving from like the teenage type years to like your young adult life. Like that stuff. It's a grind for sure.
Yeah.
But right there, like that's where I see myself at least for the next 6 months to a year for sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that because you're going to keep up the grind, and I
Oh,
definitely
word!
believe
I'm
in
gonna
it.
have streaming and music along the way too. So like, if those things take off, uh, I'll
That'll be
stop.
huge.
Yeah, I'll stop doing what I do and just kind of straight up focus on those things.
Yeah, because I definitely believe like with the work ethic. So really, with certain people with like how strong their work ethic is, I keep just fucking butchering words. But with work ethic, like you really just need an audience at that point, and just need find people that vibe with your style, and just keep improving on your style, keep
Word,
improving on what you do, and just keep your head down and keep working.
word.
So basically, you said that you're going to be doing the same thing for about 3 years. So I mean, we'll still do it anyways. 1 year.
I mean, if I mean, idealistically, in 1 year, I mean, I'm like streaming every day, making music as much as I can. Like those are my passions for sure. Watching as many animes as I can,
Yeah.
catching up on all kinds of manga. Like that's stuff I want to do like in a
Yep.
year, like within the next year. But realistic, well, I don't say realistically, but like I mean, I guess in essence, realistically, I got to keep doing what I do to like push my career forward just to
Yep.
have a fallback option, you know?
Yep. And that's definitely a good idea to have a backup plan on top of like a backup plan.
Yeah,
Uh, uh,
yeah,
but the 1 year thing, I definitely like your mindset. So a lot of people have like astronomical goals and they'll say whatever in 6 months or 1 year. I like how yours is like you have like both assets or both things figured out. Where you have the backup plan figured out,
yeah.
and then you have like your sky high goals or even your medium goals. Like because grinding and Twitch streaming, I mean, ultimately at some point you just throw the go live button on, and you can start making a big thing happen if you keep working at it.
Word. Yeah, it's cool. It's funny too because in some of my streams that I'll just not even plan to do. I'll just throw it up. It'll be
Yep.
some of my more successful streams, and I'm all, dang.
Yep.
Let me plan to do this more and more. And of course, you hit the road bumps along the way of not getting that consistently.
Yeah.
But it's what makes me pretty excited to just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've also found, so I'm a big believer in once you get like big enough, people start coming for you
Oh yeah,
more than they come for the game. But
yeah,
but initially, there's times where you're gonna have to find a game where it's got a decent amount of so the thing I'm so lucky with Final Fantasy is they have a passionate fan base, but there's not a lot of streamers at all times.
yeah.
Like the other day, I was the only person streaming it, and I had like 20 something people in here.
Dang.
But I mean, really,
No one
just
streams it.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like bigger content creators that stream it, but like they don't stream every day, kind of like I do. So
Yeah.
so like people will come here and stop in, and they'll be like, "Oh, Panic's live again." I'm like, "Yeah, there's three things that are for sure in life: death, taxes, and a Panic stream every day."
You heard?
Yeah. But the last thing for this segment before we get a little too long-winded on both of our parts is where do you see yourself in 5 years if everything goes perfect?
At that point, I'm just hoping I'm collecting bread.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm probably still gonna be in the same place, like I guess geographically. I'm not moving to moving any new places or anything. So I guess keeping my area or what I'm doing in my community in my area, just keeping that going and building on that. I'll definitely be out the dead end job that I'm in now, just because I'm only doing this to make money in between.
Yeah.
But in 5 years, damn, that's a minute away.
Yeah, and you're only
Anything
going to
could
be
happen,
20.
dude.
You're only going to be 25 too. You're not going to be like me and being old head at 28.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
I definitely believe in you. I believe in the goal. You're with good people too with heroics.
Word, dude. I tell Sal this quite a bit. You know, it's like I was in a really dark place before I joined heroics, and
Yeah.
I was in like just a really bad mental state.
Yeah.
And then after I had joined heroics, like my entire world had changed. I was all dead. I was like dedicated, motivated,
Yeah.
ready to do like school again, ready to do just because I think getting back into a community and like back into the online like realm and having people to talk to and stuff and hang out and play video games with was something I didn't have for
Yeah.
the last like year or so.
Yeah.
So getting back into it was just like great.
Yeah, and that's
And you know, to come on as a streamer, it made me have not I don't want to say made me have to do it, but like
yeah.
to push myself to keep staying in heroics and keeping these bonds. You know, you got to stream and
Yeah.
keep the consistency up, and so um, it's made me more of build myself more of a routine. You know.
Gotcha. And that's definitely a good thing too, is to have the routine. So when you're in a dark mental state, because I know everybody's been through one at one time in their life. I've been through multiple. Like I'm only 28. I've been through multiple too. Is to find like that shining light or something to work towards or work for, to like kind of keep either your mind off things, or just positive reinforcement is so strong when you need it,
Oh yes.
to like find a way out.
It's
Um,
hard. I don't know. I'd say yeah for sure, and I'd say like one of the things I didn't do for the longest time when I was in one of these dark places is like even if it doesn't seem like you're have a consistent routine, just get yourself up, like getting yourself up out of bed and doing small things throughout the day.
Yep.
Whether it be just even going outside or going to the store.
Yeah.
Making yourself do something like build a routine is
Yep.
a really good first step to getting out of it and
Yeah.
finding yourself in an even better place.
Because even if you have to take baby steps, as long as you're walking and moving towards a better place, basically like you said, then you're just gonna get out of it quicker. If you stay stagnant and you're not trying to find a way out, like if you're not trying to help yourself get out, I mean, you're not gonna
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, really, I mean, people will have your back, and you know, good people will have your back. But at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to push you.
Yeah, that was
And keep
essentially what I was
yourself
gonna
going.
say. Like
Yeah.
if you ever need anything, my DMs are always open. I'm pretty sure anybody in heroics,
Word.
especially Sal or Viro is one of the most caring people I met.
Oh, bump, dude, bump.
But
He
if
was the
you,
first person I knew out of this entire friend group, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, he's always been there for sure.
Gotcha. But like I said, before we close on this part of the segment, um, if you ever need anything, my DMs are always open.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm always here. I always try to do my best to try to help. But
Appreciate you.
no problem. But other than that, what do you think Justin can do to improve on, to work towards your goals? Like, what can you improve on to work towards what you're working for, basically?
So what can I improve on?
So basically, what can you improve that will help you achieve your goals?
I think it goes back to routine. Even I still struggle with like, even though I have a full, like I don't say, well, like a full time job and stream and do all this kind of stuff. Even sticking to a routine, like when I'm not out, like out doing what I'm supposed to do is and doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like making those things productive for my life too.
Mhm.
I think would be really beneficial.
That's the crazy part about it too, is like you have so much responsibilities, and I'm basically semi-retired over here, where I stream, go to the gym, and then like do a little bit of work and consulting on the side. When my old job, or when my old field needs me to come consult, I just go consult. I just literally consult for money, and then just sit here and collect money from my old job, stream and work out. And that's why I'm definitely proud of you, is because you have a full-time job, you're going to school while also grinding, doing music. I mean, I definitely believe where you said you could improve, because like there's only so much you could do. Like, you got to be so exhausted at times though, right?
Every day, dude. I don't, and that's what goes back to the pot. Is like, it's like smoking pot's really the only way that calms me down and
Yeah.
helps me think to like manage it all. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, burnout is very real.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't try to let myself like get slowed down by it for sure.
Yeah.
People rely on me and I rely on people, and if I stop doing my part of it, it's
Yeah.
it's gonna happen to me, and I'm not gonna like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand the whole, because that's like basically like a karmic view set of things. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I'm a huge believer in what comes around goes around, you know.
But at the same time, from my age and from my experience, there's times where you gotta there's times where you just gotta rest. I know there's not times where you can always rest, but basically, like you said, the marijuana helps you with like slowing things down and
Yeah.
like just keeping things chill. And I'm definitely a big believer. And anybody needs anything like marijuana or any of their vices, as long as it's not like something illegal where you have to like kill somebody to like chill out or
Yeah,
something.
for sure. That at that point, you're not even chilling out.
Yeah, you're just like exasperating things.
Yeah, and that's what anime time comes into play too. I mean, shoot, I don't know. I'll end up spending, before I know it, 12, 13 hours just straight up watching anime. I'm like, what the hell?
Where you
know
can just
what I
sit
mean?
and chill. Yeah, you're just chilling
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's great. It's great time to just chill for sure. Just relax.
Yep. So basically, the next segment it's kind of a repeat, but it's not. This one's what have you done in the past? What are you doing now? And what will you aim towards doing? Like, so basically, what have you done in the past to help towards your current goals?
I struggled, you know. I don't know. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. I mean, going to school, doing all that. I mean, high school, graduating.
Yep.
But even during that time, struggling, I feel like is the way. This sounds so messed up, but struggling is the way to kind of just build yourself up. Because you look back and like right now, if I were to look back and to my high school times and see how much I was struggling, it seems pretty minuscule to me now.
Yep.
But at that point, like I built some sort of like understanding, and I don't want to say like coping mechanisms in a way to like
Yep.
kind of put myself where I'm at now, and I'm gonna take that same mindset from now into 5 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, just I went to a high school that was really involved in the community, in getting out and volunteering and doing all kinds of that stuff. And we were in classes, of course, like during the day, but like we were also required to go out and do all kinds of stuff outside of our day.
Yeah.
So keeping that sense of a sort of mentality has kind of really set me up for a good sense of routine and getting myself out there, you know?
Yeah. And I also found that so basically they always tell you obviously success is important, but to me you need failure to learn how to be a success.
Oh, for sure. If you don't fail, then when you and you can't expect to succeed. And if you somehow strike out and succeed without failing, you're gonna fail, and you won't know how to come back from that. You know?
Yeah, and that's basically like what Mike Tyson had said before. Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So like if you learn how to like deal, so a lot of things, so like anybody can have like a perfect upbringing where they don't fail at all, and then the first thing they'll trip over a fucking ladybug or something. They won't know what to do. No one's there to pick them up, and all of a sudden they don't know what to do. They're just sitting on the sidewalk crying.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. There's a lot, and I think more and more now. Like, I mean, I'm in the generation that is what is.
You're lagging a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm lagging.
Yeah, you're lagging. Yeah, you're good now.
You good?
Yep.
All right. I was gonna say I'm considered part of the generation that's kind of hyper emotional and like extra, just kind of like always like talking about, I don't know, things that don't seem as important to other people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, where was I going with that? I don't remember where I was going. What was the question again? I was all focused on the lagging.
What have you done in the past? But basically, it was continuing our conversation. I can kind of see where you were going with that. You're part of the generation that cares about things, and it's important to speak up on various different issues.
Word.
And
yeah.
If you're not speaking up on the issues and stuff that you care about, people could just walk all over you, and then they'll say sorry afterwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Like when people get like pushed down and don't know how to get back up, that's really like really relevant to to our generation, my generation, because I mean like quality of life at this point has gotten to the point where it's like the generations below us are going to fail a lot less because they're already set up to succeed more because of the prior generations.
Yep.
But with that, we are also kind of baby to a point where we don't really know how to come back from that, and really only way to get through that is kind of through life experience.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to keep like a firm head on your shoulders when you do get knocked down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So an example I'll give for getting knocked down and coming back from stuff, when I was in sports, in college, I had hurt my knee, I had to come back from that. It was like it was supposed to be like a 6 to 8 month recovery. It took me like 9 months because I was depressed. I didn't know what I
Yeah.
was doing. I didn't know how to efficiently work out. I had a worse knee injury later on in my life with sports
Mm,
also. That was supposed to take me 12 months to recover from. It only took me 4 or 5 because
there you go.
I learned from the experience. I not only learned from the experience, but I fought it with like a better mindset. I saw that the pain or whatever, but basically what I'm saying is there have been times where I failed. I've got knocked down. I've done bad things. I wouldn't say done bad things, but like I've
Things
done,
that are not necessarily like kind of detrimental to your to your path.
yeah.
Is what you're saying, right?
So like say for example college, like just dumb simple stuff, like I might have missed a homework assignment or something like that, and then I learned, I was like, oh, if I miss a homework assignment my grade goes down,
No kidding.
and then I have to do my finals, I have to do even better to make sure
Yeah,
I can succeed. But other
for
than
sure.
that, I mean, pretty much getting knocked down, it really doesn't define you. How many times you come back up and how you come back up is what defines you.
Bingo, bro. That's facts.
Um, so basically, if you were to make a list of goals, where do you place them, and how important are like the goals? Where would you place them, like in terms of importance? What are like your top 3 goals if you had to give goals right now? Well,
Well, I'd say, I mean, it's hard to rank them because they're all really important to me. But
yep,
I'd say, getting my bachelor's degree and hurry up and getting the hell out of college
yep.
would be my number one goal because I don't want to spend more money than I have to.
It's money and
But
time, yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, just being able to use the time that I don't necessarily have to set aside for school to be productive in the life that I want to live,
Hmm.
alongside with that career,
Yeah,
I think is of equal importance, but maybe slightly a little less prevalent at the moment. You know what I mean?
got you, got you.
Yeah,
I definitely believe so. Essentially, some people will give me like their stuff and rank them on importance, but I like the viewpoint that you have, to where
yeah,
like they're all like equally important, and you just want to check them off the list type thing,
yeah,
to
for sure.
where you're just gonna chase them, get them all done.
It's
Um,
also, I mean, I also think it's a really good idea to list them, and if for people who can't necessarily draw the line between what they want to do and what they have to do,
yeah,
and have a line in between of where you can be in both.
yeah,
I think having goals or like listing out goals that might segue you into both of those careers at the same time
yeah.
is really important.
Hmm.
It could be beneficial for people. But for me personally, I've always found like I check off one and I don't go to number two,
Yeah,
So I think working on them at the same time has always kind of been more beneficial to me.
yeah.
But I think it always comes down to the person.
Yeah, it definitely becomes comes down to the person. Some people can't multitask as good as others.
Yeah.
Other people are more like single-minded, to where they could just procedurally knock things off. Like my dad, for example,
Yeah.
like he's all about like, let's get this done, and then we're immediately going to this, and then this.
Mm,
And initially, when I was younger, I had a lot of issues with that, because
yeah.
I'm more of like a multitasker, to where I could do like like a limited amount of things, or
Yeah.
almost unlimited amount of things. Well, it depends on how much energy I have to give into it. But my
Yeah.
thing is, I get really drained. He doesn't get drained while he's doing like his single minded stuff. I get drained when I'm throwing my energy like 7 different places.
Yeah, I totally get that.
But
For some people it's like that's their way of life is just moving on to the next task
yeah,
regardless of, and then kind of not necessarily forgetting about what you had just completed, but just moving on to the next one right away.
yeah.
um I give props to those people because after one task I'm like, I'm good for 2 months or something. you know
Yeah, I totally understand that. So we got 2 more segments, and then we'll get closing thoughts. So the first thing isn't even really a segment. We usually plug music at the end. Would you want to tell the viewers about your song choice?
Oh, the outro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is my favorite this is my favorite anime opening of all time, right? And
Mhm.
um it's one of the only songs that I'll listen to and I'll just like groove to it, like move
Yeah.
around and like jump around. I don't know what it is, bro, but it's just really catchy. And it's one of my favorite animes too, Black Clover.
Nice.
So Yeah, that's a great anime, top tier. Definitely recommend going and watching it.
Yeah, we'll make
Um,
sure to plug that, and then we'll give the link of the opening underneath like all your links in the description,
yeah, hell yeah, man.
so we can figure that out. I'm the same way basically. Like, there's a few anime openings that are really catchy for me. Like, there's a Bleach opening on one of their seasons or whatever that was really good. I can't
Mhm.
remember the specific opening, but I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the kicker about anime openings is like you find one that you really like, and unless you're on that specific part of the anime, you're like, what the hell was it or where was it? Then you
yeah,
have to like a lot of anime openings go like for English people like
yep,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in count, and you're
yep,
like, I don't remember which one it was, so
yeah.
you're spending forever finding them.
I literally have to go on YouTube to like go on the playlist to figure. Like, I remember
Yeah,
like every few years, like sometimes I won't have it on my phone. Well, whenever I get a new phone, and I'll be like, wait, what was the opening number for Bleach again? And I have to go watch the videos systematically again.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is wacky like that. So the next thing we're gonna get onto is word association, and then we'll get closing thoughts. Word association, I basically say a word, and then you tell me what you're thinking, the first thing that comes to
Oh,
mind.
here we go, some psychology. I love it.
Yep. One of my minors was psychology, so that's
Psychology. I love that shit.
it's because you get to, so that's a big part of the reason why I'm doing the Don't Panic podcast.
Yeah.
The number one reason I'm doing it is to plug all of your guys' social medias and get you guys, try to get you guys to like grow a little bit, and put a spotlight on you guys and just everything that pops up. But another big reason why I do it, the second reason, is psychology. I get to learn how you guys think. I get to learn a little bit more about my friends or people I consider to be friends with, or groups or anybody that I have on the podcast.
Word.
And then I get to understand how, just how the mind thinks. Certain
Yeah,
people,
bro.
different
I
people have different responses to things.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of great perspective on this. It's
Yeah.
for the people. I appreciate like this is some noble shit, bro.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
And I'll
Um,
always make sure to just plug, like, literally, like, on all of my socials. I'm literally trying, like, I don't care, like, I obviously want to make like content creation a thing, but
yeah.
like, I'm the type of person that's always been like, I'll always put other people's stuff before me. Like, if I ever make it big, I'm gonna make sure like any part of me getting big gets thrown into like people that I'm good with.
Word, bro. I agree.
But basically, with the word association, there's a lot of funny responses too. There's like two or three guests that I had that just really couldn't think of any of these, but I mean, they're relatively easy. I believe in you.
Yeah, bet.
All right, word association. We got one, two, three, four. We got six. Wait, yeah, six words.
All right.
So, what do you think comes to mind when I say success?
Um, I mean, I think growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I supposed to explain or what's up?
So, I mean, in terms of like the psych thing, I'd like you to like get a little bit into what do you think by growth? Like, what do you mean by growth?
I mean, like we were talking about earlier, is like you can't succeed unless you're actively putting yourself out to grow. I think a growth mindset is really essential in living a fulfilled, like wholesome, happy life.
Yeah.
I mean, people. I know a lot of people with fixed mindsets, even at my age, that are just really struggling.
Yeah.
And they think the world's kind of against them. In reality, it's their own brain against them.
Instead of adapting, they'll stay in their own. They're set in their own ways.
Yeah, and I try to tell them. I mean, I try to like take it down to the book. Like, like adaptation is like human nature. You can't survive without adapting to what your situation is. So like always taking things at like surface value and just moving on from it and
Yeah.
like moving like with it, working with it.
Yeah, and
Um,
basically to add to your point, I believe, so it's not always this way, but you can put 125% energy into life and then only get 85% reward back.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's just how life is sometimes.
Yeah.
And like basically you were saying, there's some viewpoints that view that as like unfair or something out to get them or something like that, but I mean, that's literally just balance. There's times where there's windfalls where everything great could happen to you, and then
Yeah.
there's times where like your car could break down or something like that. You can't plan for stuff like that. It's basically how
Right.
you adjust to it, and basically how you work and like put yourself in a better place to when things like that happen. That's why there's like rainy day funds.
Yeah,
Like if something like your car breaks down, I mean, it sucks, but like ultimately, if you want to like get to and from work, you got to figure out a way to do it. And
of course. Yeah. A huge social work concept. Well, it's not even a concept, but like the idea we use in social work too, like especially in a lot of, or in my um, human behavior and social environment classes, if your tire pops or like blows up on the side of the road, are you going to be the person that's like is prepared and like is just like change the tire and know how to change the tire, or are you going to sit there and weep and wait 3 hours for the like AA or triple ARP or whatever
yeah,
to
triple A.
come through and fix it for you when you've wasted 3 or 4 hours of your life. And I don't know, it's like neither option sounds horrible, I guess, but like at the end of the day, when you're sitting in those 3 or 4 hours waiting, it's like you're
It's
probably like suffer like in a way suffering or like thinking the world's against you, like stressed and stuff
yeah,
like that. When in reality, you could change the tire yourself in 15 minutes and be on your way.
yep,
And it's all about your mindset behind what you want or what you like, how you see the situations.
gotcha. Yeah, mindset and the mental like capacity and just the mental like mindset is just
Yeah,
it's just so important. Like at least staying positive or just being adaptable or stuff like that, like we talked about. So
yeah.
word association again, but this time the word is failure.
Learning. I don't know. I'd say fail. I mean, I would also say like sucky, but I mean, failure. I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot more failures in our lives than successes, but the successes are way more heavy than the failures, in my opinion.
Yeah,
If you hold on to, if you look at it that way,
yeah,
um, like we were just talking about, you can't succeed without failing, and um, I think understanding that your failures can have, or like if you put less weight on your failures but look more into them,
yeah,
you'll see way more. You'll see your like you think of it like a scale, dude. Like you'll see your successes just over like dominating your failures,
yeah.
even though you have more failures.
So the way that I feel about it is if somebody were to ask me failure and word association, I would say success.
Yeah,
For the simple part, basically like you said, you for the some things you can't have success without failure. Trial and error is a very real thing.
oh yes,
And the way that I feel about it is what was I about to say? Failure, you look into it like essentially like you had just said, and you look into failures, you get lessons. You see what you did wrong, and hopefully you can learn from what you did wrong,
right.
and then you come right if you're allowed to or if it's applicable, you come right back and you use the lesson that you learned and hopefully make it a success.
Word, and it's like, anytime I hear somebody like struggling with being able to overcome their failures, I'll literally tell them just go watch any anime ever, dude. Like
Yep.
any anime.
Yep.
And I don't know what, even if it's like a cartoon to some people, that shit is so motivational.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, dude, but like I'll watch an anime episode or even the movie after like after the watching the Demon Slayer movie last night.
Yep.
It's like what wait. Like yeah, it's like just learning how to overcome your failures
Yeah.
is like very motivational for
And
sure.
that's what I always tell people too is I believe myself in some aspects to be an anime main character because
Oh, as you should.
I'll sit here and I want to literally the hero of my own story
Word.
where I'll just be like I'll just sit and grind away. And I remember I
Yeah.
had somebody who were like, why are you working so hard or why are you at the gym? I'm like, I believe I need to make it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in the destination. I believe in the journey. And I also believe when you reach your destination, you haven't made shit yet. Like
Right.
you didn't make anything yet. My question's always when I get something, I'm always like, what next?
Right.
I always try not to be complacent. There's times where I rest or there's times where like I'm okay with things, but like when I get to the next level, I'm like, okay, I got 20 viewers on Twitch. What can I do to build on it? What can I do to like talk and connect with the viewers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Um
I was
where
in the movie last night. There was this like stupid good quote where it was like, so like dude had just like mastered this insane technique at the end of season one, right? And
yeah,
he was still working at it in the beginning of the movie.
yeah,
And he had once he had finally like accomplished it, he was like dead out, like draw, like he was like hell yeah, 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 and he was like really dead though. and the dude was like standing over top of him. He's like, step 1 of 10,000. It was like, hey, there you go. And he felt like he like kind of knocked him off his high horse, but at the same time, it was like, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the way to see it. As I mean, that's basically it. But word association, the next word we'll get into is cold.
Warm. I mean, because it's the opposite, but I don't know, cold.
On a lot of these things too, you don't have to go in depth. We got a few more words. So.
Yeah, I would say cold, warm. I mean, if you're cold, you kind of want to warm up, don't you?
Yeah, but that's basically like what a few of my other guests said. So they had said, so like I asked a few from like different cold cities, and I said cold, and like at least 4 of them said their city that they're living in. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I was born in Alaska, so
yeah. Oh wow.
Anytime I'm like thinking of cold, I just kind of picture like all the snow around my house and shit, and damn moose eating my trees and stuff. But so I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico now, and it's a total flip.
Totally different.
So, like, I can't even deal with cold anymore. So the moment I get cold, it pisses me off, and I'm trying to get like break a sweat or something.
You just fucking have PTSD. Fucking Alaska, and if somebody's like, somebody's like, what?
Your initial my first thought about cold is like bullshit, bro. I hate it. I hate the cold. I hate it.
So basically the next word is hot.
Hot. Me? Just kidding.
Nice.
I don't know. Hot. Go take cool down. Cold. That's a hard one. I don't even know.
I got you. These are just to provoke thought, to be honest.
Yeah. Hot, sweat, grinding.
I like it. Word association, good.
Better. Like I don't know. Whenever I hear good, then my first thought is, how can it be better? You know?
Yeah.
I've always been. Anytime people give me feedback on something and they tell me it's good, it kind of like hits a little bit harder than just telling me if it was bad. Because like if it's just good, then I didn't do good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, like hearing, like I always strive to do things great. So whenever I hear good, it's like not necessarily a failure, but it's kind of a downing moment, like kind of like a downing thing for me.
Yeah.
So just always working to get better.
I got you. So for good for me, the thing that I've always been a fan of. So I'm a basketball fan. One of the better quotes that Tim Duncan's ever given is he said he grew up on a motto for good, better, best. Never rest until your good's your better and your better's your best. So that's when I think of good.
That rolls right off the tongue.
Yep. And I think it's a poem. Or some shit like that. I don't know. But
hey, Tim Duncan's a legend though.
He is. What about word association, bad?
Bad. I'd probably say.
I can give you an example real quick if you want.
Yeah, let me hear it.
So if somebody were to ask me word association bad, I think complacency.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And I also think so. It's like I basically said, it's okay to rest sometimes, but if you're like complacent and you just like stop and like running after your goals or stop going after your goals, then like I view that like as bad because I grew up with a dad that he started off at his job. It was called Bell Atlantic. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bell Atlantic at all.
I have not.
But there's a reason why you haven't, because they end up going out of business. Well, they didn't really go out of business, but they transferred over to Verizon. So when he first started, he was making like minimum wage, and he graduated college, so he had a college degree, and it was like 1995, and we were living in like a crap apartment or something like that, and he was working 2 jobs, working minimum wage, and he had a college degree. The reason why I have the mindset of complacency being bad is because I grew up with my stepdad every single day, sick, cold, feeling like ass, not feeling like ass. He'd get up every day in the morning and just go work his ass off. And he was my stepdad. He raised me and my sister. I had to figure out, I'd say rose or raised. But he raised me and my sister, who are basically his stepkids. And then he had a son with my mom, so he's my little brother. He raised all of us initially starting off 2 jobs at minimum wage. He ended up getting overqualified, and when they switched over to Verizon, to where he started like splicing wires and like working on
Yeah.
telephone poles and doing files and all that, he started making so much more money, and he's never changed. He works his ass off. He's got a nice house now. He's got a lift in his garage, and that's the reason why I view complacency as bad.
Yeah.
And I'll never like rag on somebody for like taking a rest, but like I'll start getting on somebody or trying to light a fire under people when when I see that they're being complacent, when I know that they have that fire. I try to be like that big brother and just be like, yo, you gotta wake the fuck up and just go grab your goals. Your goals are right there.
Yeah, for sure. I think even the last couple of days I've seen you popping off with that in the chat for sure. It lit a fire under me. But because now that I'm done with school, I'm ready to get back under like streaming and stuff.
And like I basically even said in the chat like I feel like Jimmy Butler on the Timberwolves. I even said that like even if you guys view it as me bitching, it's really because I care. I really want everybody around me to succeed. Like I view I've been a big brother my whole life. I've been the oldest of 3 kids. So I know like telling them like, yo, if you want to achieve something, if I could fucking do it and I could do all this and I can grind, I get fucking strong and I could fucking have a computer and nice things, you guys can have nice things.
That's a nice ass rig too, by the way.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. You guys have a lot of potential. And I'm not just blowing smoke out of your ass or saying that because you're all in my organization, but you you guys all have the right mindset when you guys are right and level-headed is what I'm saying. And all it takes is that big brother or person to come down and say, you guys keep working on it and you guys will have the nicer things too.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate that too.
No problem.
I remember I was watching your podcast with Sal, and when you guys were talking about how like when you get to the point or like when you get to your goals and you become complacent, like you best believe someone else is out there to like take your spot.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. And I was thinking to myself too, is like once you get to that top spot, like that's all, like that's not even, that's when the hard work begins, you know, because people now you got a target on your back, you know, so you got to keep grinding and keep showing people why you're the best, you know. And I think after like starting to watch Formula One now, I totally get that with Lewis Hamilton, like the guy who just like dominates the league.
Yeah,
like that man's been the best for like last 6-7 years now. So it's like shit. Yeah, you know, he's always getting better. He doesn't have that mindset of complacency, and I think that's really like kind of motivating.
Yeah, so that's basically the big thing with Sal too. When I was talking to him, I was like, everybody wants to be the best. Everybody will say they want to be the best. So they're putting like their thing out there that they want this, but there's actual legitimate people that when you become the king and when you're at the top, when they say it's all downhill from there, the reason why it's all downhill from there is because like if you for 1 second just like stop and just stop like if you're the best and you for whatever reason you do reach that pinnacle that everybody's striving for, the minute that you like fall asleep, somebody hungrier than you is just gonna come and overtake you. It's gonna be their crown, their throne. And
yeah, for sure.
So that's why you need to be the pinnacle of Justin, and I need to be the pinnacle of Austin, or chase whatever goals I'm going for, and figure out what I'm passionate about. Just chasing my goals and striving to be what I can do.
For sure.
But other than that, we get to the closing thoughts because we've been streaming for a minute now, or
I'd say for a minute so. Now. I say my word would be do better, probably for
do
bad.
Better for good, for bad.
Yeah, do better.
Got you. I really do like that. That has a lot of stuff behind it. But other than that, what are your closing thoughts? How'd you like the podcast? What's going on? Do you have a new mindset or a new thought process? Or
I like how you do this, dude. Hang on.
What you think or what's going on?
Yeah, no, I really like how you do this. This podcast is I think like you said really helps people understand like how other people think. Because when I was watching Sal's and the one that you had sent me in the Twitter chat, like I didn't know about any of that, like, and you know, so it's really cool to see how people like work towards their goals or how they come back from, you know, downs. And I also really appreciate how you try to do this and get to like people's other people up with you, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty badass. I have a similar mindset. I'm not on the same level as you though, because you know you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. But
Yeah.
if I ever make it big with like streaming, or music or anything, even my social career, just helping others to get to that same level, or even just bring them with me,
Yeah.
has always been one of my dreams too. You know, making
Mhm.
sure other people get the meals too. You know.
Yeah. But that's another big thing too. As I've always been, if I'm eating at the table, I want everybody else eating at the table with me. But
Word.
like there's
Otherwise,
caveats to that though. Like
word.
obviously like you want to bring people that you know are going to be solid and you know aren't going to switch up if you help bring them to the table. But at the same time, if I'm bringing them to the table, I want them to be semi like-minded or a go-getter themselves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. And then, um, word, because so I'm my whole life's an anime reference. In Naruto, they always say a meal tastes better when you have a person eating it with you. You know.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's the truth. And when you know that they have the potential to like keep building on themselves when they're at that table, it only makes the meals even better. You know.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
So basically that's about it. We're gonna get your socials again, and
Bet.
that's really just it. We're pretty much out of here, and I really do appreciate having you on the podcast. Now that I know a little bit more about you, I'll probably message you a little bit more, and
Of course.
we'll link up for a few more games. We'll hopefully get some heroics events going, and
Yeah, I think we will soon.
yeah.
For sure. Well, I appreciate you having me on this. This is badass, dude.
Definitely. And the way that I try to do it, basically, like you had said, is every time I do a podcast episode, not only, so obviously it's a little bit scripted on my other monitor. I have
Yeah.
certain segments that I'm going to do for everybody, but like I'll try to active listen and I'll take what you're giving me and I'll try to put it back at you. I'll give you like different stuff to respond to while also like giving you like new experiences. Like I know a few of the experiences were recycled from the other podcasts,
Mm.
but I've tried to give you like different mindsets or like different lessons than I've given the other guests.
Yeah, for sure.
But other
Spoken
than
like a true social worker, to be honest.
but other than that, I mean, that was a great podcast. I appreciate you having you on. You'll definitely be in the pod or the. Uh, yeah, you'll definitely be in the. Maybe I'm the one that's smoking too much weed, but I'll definitely be in your playlist for Panik's favorite videos.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Hopefully this blows up. I can get like a few more people on the show. But yeah, have a good
Yeah,
one.
of course. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, take it easy.
Yep, don't panic. Everybody like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to go follow Justin on all of his platforms. When Justin comes out with a Spotify or a SoundCloud or whatever he comes out with, we're going to be putting that in the description too. So if this video blows up, you'll see Justin before he's famous. So there you go.
You heard it here.
Everybody have a good one.
Take it easy.
See you later.